Nestled on the southern coast of Maine is the historic town of York. With long stretches of white sandy beaches and sapphire waters, the area is a popular resort destination. But just a few miles off these picturesque shores stands a small, desolate island that's home to a formidable landmark.
It's a 137-foot granite tower soaring up over the rock. It looks almost like it would topple over because it's so tall compared to the base that it sits upon.
Built in 1851, this is the Boon Island Lighthouse, which boasts the proud distinction of being the tallest in New England. But according to author Andrew Vietz, this watchtower was constructed in the aftermath of a terrible event that sent shockwaves across the ocean.
It was the site of a horror story. It was betrayal, greed, and some of the darkest deeds that people ever have been reduced to.
So what horrific scandal played out on the forsaken rocks that surround this lonely outpost? (1711), York, Maine. It's New Year's Day, and on this cold winter morning, the town's coroner is investigating reports that a body has washed up on the beach. And when he locates the corpse, he is horrified by its condition.
It's rail-thin, emaciated, and pockmarked with chilblains, which are sores that come about from exposure, from extreme cold. He deduced that this was a shipwreck victim, and he pieced together that he probably came from Boon Island, a #1 hotspot for shipwrecks.
The coroner organizes a rescue party to search for survivors. But when the group sets foot on Boon Island, they're met by a desperate sight.
They are astonished to see a couple of people waving frantically at them. These men are all in horrible, horrible shape, crawling towards this rescuer, begging him to take them from this horror.
The rescuers are amazed that anyone has survived in such freezing temperatures without any food. Though barely able to, one of the men explains that he is Captain John Dean of the British merchant vessel, the Nottingham Galley. The emaciated men are taken to York, and within a few months make a full recovery. And when they return to England, Captain Dean reveals the key to their incredible survival.
He writes a memoir of this shipwreck as he saw it and sort of casts himself as a hero.
Dean explains that the boat was sailing from London to Boston when it was swept into a savage nor'easter, which left them shipwrecked on Boon Island for 3 weeks in freezing temperatures without food or water. According to Dean, it was through his brave leadership that most of the crew survived.
The captain says he was bandaging their wounds, nursing them back to health as best he could, and explains that he would plunge his hands into the freezing water to pull muscles out for the men. They ate seaweed, and they even ate boot leather.
Dean is hailed as a hero and becomes a celebrity of sorts on British shores. But not everyone is enthralled by the commanding officer's valiant story.
Captain Dean's memoirs.
When his crew members hear his version of the tale, they are horrified.
He's saying he made us survive.
They are beyond angry, enraged, really. They call him a liar and a scoundrel.
All lies, all of this.
So is Captain Dean telling the truth about what really happened on Boon Island? It's 1711 in London, England. After a group of shipwrecked sailors are rescued from Boon Island off the coast of Maine, the captain publishes an account of his heroic efforts to save his men.
He made us survive.
But not everyone agrees with the commander's version of the story. So what really happened on Boon Island?
He's making money off this.
Following the publication of Dean's story, 3 of the surviving sailors accuse him of lying.
They do something that is sort of unheard of in that day and age. They challenged the captain in print and wrote their own version of the tale.
We should get the truth.
And then they took out depositions under oath, swearing that their version of this tale is accurate.
The crew members state that the cause of the shipwreck was not a storm, but the actions of the captain himself.
The bosun claims that he overheard the captain say explicitly that maybe it wouldn't be a bad thing if the boat were lost.
That's money for the entire ship.
So that he could claim the insurance money.
If the vessel were to wreck, Dean's policy would make him a very rich man.
And according to the crew, the captain put them on the collision course into Boon Island.
Once marooned on the barren island, the crew says the captain didn't tend to their wounds or fish for food as he claimed. Instead, they survived by turning to the darkest of deeds.
The carpenter passes away in the middle of the night, and the men decide that the only way they're going to survive is if they eat the carpenter.
As word of the sailor's account spreads throughout London, the once celebrated commander quickly falls from grace.
The captain is run out of town. At best, he's a lousy captain, and at worst, he's a traitor and a scoundrel and anything but a gentleman.
Yet despite his downfall, it has never been determined who was actually telling the truth. Today, this historic lighthouse warns passing ships about the treacherous tides surrounding Boon Island and endures as a stark reminder of a haunting tragedy at sea.